Speaking to Jamie Elson after, looking ahead to the weekend. But first of all, now the dust has settled, still riding that wave of the 4 point weekend.
Yeah. Haven't had enough, so we've got to enjoy the moments when they come. It was nice to remember what it's like to get back to winning ways, and then great feeling to get on the road and get a road win, and obviously make it a 4 point weekend. So yeah, it was good. Well needed to hit the reset for the group. Well needed for the guys to let off some steam Sunday night after the game and enjoy the feeling of having a successful weekend and road trip home. And yeah, it's just kind of reset the mood here and getting us recharged, ready to go again. Obviously, it's nice after the spell we've been in to be here and have some smiles and some positivity.
Uh, how how would you explain the turnaround? Obviously, the weekend before, the results maybe, or the score lines more than the results maybe didn't necessarily reflect how the games went, but you were still hammered in all honesty. And you come out, you pick up 4 points. What changed in those 7 days? Obviously, you had the players leave, but what changed in the room?
Yeah, I think it's slowly been changing for 2 3 weeks. I think, like we said last week, the scoreline really didn't reflect the performances last week against Telford. Thought actually our play was a lot better, but the scores there got a bit ugly. But we've been chatting about it. We've got to be better defensively. Like, we've been talking about that for weeks. We've been doing video. We've been practicing it, but I thought the team commitment to it this weekend, sorry, just gone is the key. The leaders in the room really led. You know, it's hard to single anyone out because everyone was so good. But obviously, Tanner as the captain stood up and he played some extra minutes and played against the team's top lines, and him and Reese were outstanding against the team's top lines. Max in the lineup, who's obviously a veteran. Lids, who's a veteran. Those guys really stepped up on the weekend, led in terms of number of shot blocks we saw from guys like Reese, Tanner, Lids, was just through the roof. That kind of commitment to just anything it takes to win a game. And then, Feezy, he's obviously taken on an assistant coach role, but I mean, he's a good leader anyway. And he obviously had a big weekend in terms of offense, but it's honestly hard to single anyone out because we had total commitment. We had total buy-in this weekend to the guys. They had that we'll do whatever it takes mentality. And like I said, I think talking about shot blocking in particular, we touched on that a little bit in meetings last week and kind of looked at what Telford did to us, and the number of shot blocks we had this weekend was through the roof. Ben was great in goal, but we really helped him.
I know you just said it's tough to single anyone out, and obviously people have been singled out with Feezy and Ben getting plenty of recognition online. I'm going to focus on Bailey Herward, who quietly had a 6 point weekend. He had 6 assists, didn't score a goal. How impressed were you with his two performances?
Yeah, I think it's his best weekend this year by far because I know he puts a lot of pressure on himself to offensively contribute and put up points. And like you said, he kind of quietly went about because he didn't score a goal, but he picked up 6 assists. So I think you kind of you maybe don't always get the credit when you're picking up the assists, but I mean he offensively contributed heavily. But I think for me the big thing was his overall work ethic. His work ethic both ways this weekend was excellent. On the puck, he was his normal kind of energetic self, but off the puck, he got in on the forward check. He was aggressive, fast to get in, made it uncomfortable for teams. But his effort coming back defensively, which is obviously what we really saw this weekend as a group. His effort coming back and buying into team defense was great, and he's strong and he's fast. So when he's coming back the same way as he goes the other way, and buys into team defense like he did this weekend, and battled and competed, and he was a real team guy this weekend. And he talked about wanting to be a bit more of a leader this year in the summer when he came back, and I thought how he contributed this weekend was much more in a he sort of set the tone in terms of effort, like I said, and energy.
And just one other player I'm going to touch on, Max, obviously returning, fairly short notice coming in, gets a couple of goals, but also that people obviously wouldn't have seen in Slough with Jacob out of the lineup. He took some shifts on D as well. Like how crucial is that to have on your roster?
Yeah, bringing Max in, having the flexibility with Max around with Nick out injured at the moment is, being able to not play and put down first and foremost is huge. But in the hole that we're in right now, in terms of obviously it's been a poor couple of weeks and the way the results have been, to be able to bring in a guy like Max with his resume and experience, a real veteran guy was huge because, he finds a way to pop up and score big goals, and he did that both games this weekend yet again. But his contribution to the overall team performance is huge. He's great in the room. He's great on the bench. He's a real leader. He's positive. He really stepped up and kind of took it by the horns this weekend. But you can play on D, you can play up front. He goes to dirty areas and battles. He can be gritty. He can be strong on the puck. He makes simple plays. I just think he brings a real all round game. So like this weekend, it was huge having him there.
Looking ahead to the weekend, it's a doubleheader and probably the toughest doubleheader you'll have this weekend this season in terms of certainly in terms of travel. Playing home and away against Solway. A bit of a slow start, but they're certainly growing into the team. A lot of people expected them to be. What are you expecting from them on Saturday?
Yeah, they had a little bit of a slower start, and now they've started to find their legs. They've picked up some good wins. They've beat some good teams, and they've held some top teams to 1-goal games. So I think in their rink in particular, it's a bigger ice surface. They'll be used to that. We struggle a little bit on the bigger ice. I think that will be a challenge after the long trip and the big ice on Sunday. They've got a couple of good imports in there. They've obviously got a really good veteran guy, British guy in Craig Peacock, who, he's been around the elite league game a long time. He's a skilled guy, but, hockey IQ, ton of experience, real leader. So that's big. I'm hoping that we're going to turn up and we're going to be the team we were this weekend, and we're going to make it uncomfortable for them as soon as they roll in this building on Saturday and be hard to play against. But I think it's going to be 2 tight games. I mean, the points between us, I think it's only 2 point separators right now. So, for us to get 4 points and get within touching distance of a few of these teams again makes it that all the more interesting that it's a 4-point weekend, but against a team that, with a couple of results here this weekend, we can actually overtake. So that'll add a little bit of spice to it. But they're definitely finding their feet offensively. It's a couple of guys starting to put some points in. So, we're going to have to be respectful, and we're going to have that same team buy into defense that we had this weekend if we want to put in a performance that gives us a chance to get 2 points.
Could you just quantify for fans how difficult that trip will be to Solway? Obviously, you play here Saturday night, 7:00. So what does your from post-game Saturday, what does it look like for you the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. I mean, I think lots of people are surprised, how quick weekends are in terms of the turnaround to going on the road on a Sunday on a normal game. But I mean, Saturday night will look something like probably finishing about 9:15 here. The guys will want to get out, get changed. Obviously get some food, get some fluid in them pretty quick, start that recovery process, but get back to bed, whether it's the houses or in the hotel. And then the plan is, I think, that we're going to be on the road 6:30 a.m. On Sunday. So yeah, it's tough. Won't be a ton of downtime and sleep recovery for the guys, and some of that will be happening on the bus on the way on Sunday, and probably a 6 to 7 hour bus ride. Get off the bus, we'll probably look to be there by 2, and it's a 4:00 game. Quick turnaround, and then back on the bus 6-7 hours coming back. So it's a tough day. That's a really tough day, and that on the back of already having played a game on the Saturday night in here. Makes mentally and physically, it's a test, it's enduring. But they're the same. They're going to be traveling down Saturday, turning around to get back after the game, probably not getting back into the early hours on Sunday morning. So it's tough. It's one of the games obviously in the schedule with the Scottish team this year that you kind of have in mind that it's going to be a long weekend. But we're a pretty young team. We've got a few more bodies back in the lineup, so hopefully the legs will be there this weekend.
And finally, do you have an update on Jacob? Obviously, he didn't play Sunday. He went in warm up, couldn't go. Do you have an update on his status?
Yeah, I mean it's day to day. He unfortunately took an injury here Saturday night that in game didn't really feel it as much in play. Well, while he was still playing and adrenaline was going, but what with getting off the ice and overnight, kind of it's an upper body injury that's kind of got worse overnight. So unfortunately, he travelled Sunday hoping to take warm up and see whether there was a way just to play through the pain a little bit for us to give him credit. But he got out on warm up and within a minute knew that there was no way he was going to be able to give us anything. So I give him credit that he did everything he could to be in the lineup. But we don't think it's serious. We don't think it's going to keep him out of the lineup for any set period. But it's something that he's just going to have to rest this week. And right now, the aim is to have him back, hopefully, touch wood on Saturday night.
All right, cheers, Jamie.
Thanks.